Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Marcia Robert.
Robert Duell.
And we're doing another Patron request from Mr. Teddy Brown. And this was Artik from 2019. You know, so far ago.
Okay, so basically, yeah, we're jumping into the story. So it's basically about a comic book obsessed rural serial killer who is teaching his son to follow in his footsteps. And when his son befriends a random person as he's tagging a wall, it starts bringing out all these different events and everything, and basically tearing his plans apart on teaching his son his ways. And that's basically the quick of the story and everything.
What were your overall thoughts on it?
Overall thoughts, I liked elements of it, but a lot of it, there was still some flaws that I had. A lot of it was basically, especially with how they addressed for the story of it, the comic books really didn't play too big of a role into this story.
Yeah.
They were basically more back references and everything into the story of his mental stability. Mm-hmm. And that's our lead character, Artik, played by Jerry G. Angelo. Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. Like I was reading the reviews, some of the reviews before I watched it, and I was like, okay, this might have some real good potential. I thought the kills were pretty interesting. The acting was okay, but it was really grungy, and sometimes I do like that, but it felt inconsistent to me overall, and I don't think they really had a lot of depth on what they were trying to do. Like, they made it feel like it was really artsy, and like they were trying to make people have deeper levels than they did in the characters, but they weren't.
No,
like,
they were still very underdeveloped.
They're very underdeveloped, very shallow.
Especially our main title character,
Yeah.
Artik himself.
Yeah. I felt like there was too many elements they were trying to accomplish and couldn't stick with what the actual end goal was.
Mm-hmm.
So to that, I'm like, okay, it was interesting to watch, but it wasn't something that I would watch again.
Yeah, I wanted more from this movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, it could have been a lot better. But there were definitely some inconsistencies and everything with the story, especially, let's say, like the AA meeting part, like what's his name, the character Carr, and everything, like his little monologue to the group and everything. It's like, I kind of got it, but at the same time, it felt out of place.
Yeah.
For the scene and everything. And then basically we never went back to the AA meeting at all. We kind of got our backstory on our character by Chase Williamson, who played Holton, which you've probably seen him from John Dies at the End. Mm-hmm. He plays the main character, not John, but you know. But other than that, yeah, it's like I want to like this movie, but there's still a lot of it that I still have issues with.
Right.
So with that, you want to jump into just acting real quick?
Yeah. The acting, like, I actually thought Artik was pretty cool. I thought the guy who did Artik did a really good job. You didn't like him?
I did not.
I liked
especially
him.
his line delivery. It felt like he played maybe with like a mental instability. Like I kind of saw where that was and everything in the character, but it's how he delivered the lines. It seemed flat and just unconvincing.
But I feel like that maybe that's kind of why I dug him, was because, like, if you're like this serial killer who's trying to be like molding, like, he's not like the charismatic kind of serial killer or one of like a Ted Bundy or something like that.
Well, he's rural.
Yeah, he's very rural. But you very simple folk. But I felt like he was true to what his character was supposed to be, so that's why I dug him. Everybody else, I was just kind of like, okay. Like, the woman I thought was really annoying.
No, the mother?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with her character and everything, there wasn't really anything to her. She was just there.
She was there and like, mistreating these kids and then trying to pretend like she was super.
Yeah, you got one kid roaming around and you got 6 others that live in a barn to work your fields.
Right, and you're like,
kind of family
feeding them with dog bowls and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, dinner time.
Yeah.
Like, this is
That's a great
weird.
family.
Yeah, it was very strange. What did you think overall in the acting?
Overall acting, a lot of people fell pretty short. The kid who played Boy Adam and everything, he did fair enough for what screen time he did and what lines he did have. Our biggest shining star is going to be Chase Williamson, who played Holton. Other than that, like I said, I did not like the guy who played Artik. I didn't really care for him.
Yeah. Maybe I just have a heart for those simple folk.
I don't know. I'm from upstate New York. I know the rural and everything. Like, I'm a man of simple taste, but for Christ's sakes. And not to mention, let's go into real quick. Your shotgun needs to be reloaded. You don't have 12 rounds in a 5+1. Where's your reloading?
Yeah.
He's just. Like, come on, man! And the CGI sunflowers.
Yeah.
That was atrocious. Like you couldn't actually film that scene at an actual sunflower field.
Right. Well, they couldn't because money.
Yeah, but for Christ. Okay, you got the scene of the kids running out into the field. And the kid is literally like the same height as a fucking like 7 foot tall
well, they Googled sunflowers and they like put it behind the kid. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's like a JPEG.
That was actually my biggest part, and that's actually kind of like that's a
quick
quick dive right into like the special effects and cinematography kind of aspect. That pulled me right the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah, all of it did. It really.
Yeah,
like,
but there were some really nice shots though, especially of the farm and things like that. But overall, like there wasn't anything too outgoing on like the cinematography or even like necessarily the set really.
So it was very like it was just a farm and it was just like okay, and they had like treating these kids really badly and it's just kind of what you would expect. And on this scene, like. Almost like Texas Chainsaw, but not as cool. And then, I think the only money they put into was a prop design and the kill effects. So, like, when you have, like, all the heads and stuff and the actual kills, I was like, okay, those are fun. That's where the money
kills
is.
and the gore, that was actually, like, one of the best parts of the movie. Like, they actually a couple times, like, especially, like, dude gets the fork through and everything. It was like, oh... That was a good one.
Yeah,
like, that was
here
cool.
You go. Can we get more of this, please?
Yeah, but even then, like it didn't deliver all of the gore and the mayhem that I was expecting. And I actually watched the trailer after I had watched the movie.
Okay.
And personally, I would have expected a completely different movie from the trailer.
Based off of the reviews that I saw, I was expecting something completely different too. I was like, "Am I watching the right movie?" Because everyone's like, the acting is amazing, and there's all this gore, and it's like bringing in comic books, and it just it didn't feel like that.
No, like granted, like the comic book aspect and everything that they did have was him with like creating his own comic book of himself when he's killing these people and trying to find their like inner purity or whatever it was. But even all that, it didn't make any sense to his character.
It felt like this movie was made in 2003 and not 2019. I think that was part of the problem.
And it got shelved for a while and then released.
Yeah, like that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like something that would have came out last year.
Yeah.
Based off of the quality of it, the story, and production.
Well, the minor graininess and everything with some of that, it was kind of neat because it had like a little grindhouse, like the old original grindhouse feel.
They did it on purpose, but it still felt like a 2003 effect versus a 2019 film. Yeah, so that's kind of where I stand.
So overall thoughts, I would say.
Meh.
Yeah. Like
okay,
it's worth a watch. Like check it out. You guys might actually like it more than we did. I'm not saying necessarily it's a terrible film because it's really not, but it's not a great film at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely not one that is my cup of tea. I would say that if you're gonna watch it for the kills because the kills are cool.
Exactly. That's the biggest part of this movie.
Yeah. So. Well, thank you, Teddy Brown, for offering this up to us, and we got to watch it. I appreciate it. If you guys want to tell us what to watch too, then become a Patreon member by clicking the link below and selecting the correct tier, and then you can start telling us what to watch, and hopefully we can get something that's more on our level.
See, we keep asking about this, Marcia, but I think that at this point they're just doing it
They're
on
coming.
purpose.
They're coming. They're coming.
Fingers crossed.
But thank you so much again for watching. I'm Marcia Parker.
I've been Robert Duell.
And remember,
Stay scared.